Welcome to Say Like a Champ, episode 246. It's your boy A-Dub.
Hey, what's up, SLAC fam? Welcome back, y'all.
Welcome back to another edition of Say Like a Champ. And it is another beautiful Tuesday in sports. We got a lot of different things going on that we want to definitely holler at y'all about, get y'all opinions as well. I see some slackers on the line as well. We got Unk, hello from Texas. We got Kelly, happy Tuesday. And we got Pops as well. Good evening. So, as we get things started, just want to welcome everybody in and again express our appreciation for being part of the show and rocking out with us every single week. Not only those that tune in live and make comments, but also those that watch the replay and also check us out online on iTunes and whatnot. So with that being said, Strizzy, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. You know what I'm saying? Same old, just different day. But things just been really cool. Things really relaxing. I got some busy stuff coming up. My boy's getting married in a couple of weeks, so I'll be in Vegas early part of June, and then literally the very next weekend I'll be in Puerto Rico with the family. So, I got some trips coming up, man.
That's what's up. I'm excited for y'all to definitely have that family trip, and bachelor party, man, in Vegas. That sounds pretty dope, man.
Yeah, it should be fun. Should be fun
for sure. So that's what's up. And I'm wondering if the Summer League will be around that time, actually, because Summer League, is it June or is it July? I can never remember, but
good point.
We'll have to check because that's still on our bucket list for sure as sports fans to hit up the Summer League. So
it would be dope if it was like that first weekend of June up there. That would be pretty cool. But when's the draft though? Do you know?
Oh, true. The draft isn't until like late June. So
so that's probably July-ish.
Yeah, that's right. Welcome in, Mom, as well. Hello. But that's what's up, man. That's what's up. We're gonna go ahead and get things going. Let me pull up the graphics real quick, and we'll jump into our topics. And definitely gonna get into some WNBA talk. Both Strizzy and I have had a chance to check out some of Caitlin Clark's debut, so we'll be talking about that in just a few. But we'll go ahead and hit up our NFL talk real quick, and nothing too crazy going on there, but definitely excited for the schedule release. And so there's a couple games that have already been announced, but the main game being the opener, Ravens at Chiefs in an AFC Championship rematch, September 5th, which is like 116 days away. So not that far, but who's counting?
For real.
Strizzy, how'd you feel about this matchup, though? I think it's a good one that they're coming out of the gate tough again.
Oh, I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is huge. AFC, it's kind of funny. Like, you look at, like, football, right? Like, and the AFC essentially is like the NBA West, right? There's so many really, really dominant teams from, say, like 1 through 7, 1 through 8. And then on the NFC side, they're like the top 3 teams are just as good as, like, any of the AFC teams, you know what I'm saying? And then the rest of them are kind of like, we'll see what happens, how they do this year type stuff. So, the AFC is just so deep, man. I thought it's going to be the Ravens get-back game. Our first chance to kind of see Lamar and Derrick Henry playing together with that offensive line and the new offensive coordinator. Not new offensive coordinator because he was definitely there last year. But I think they're going to kind of try to right some ships to kind of do what they should have done in the AFC Championship game. But I'm super excited for this game, man. It's going to be a really, really big one.
Yeah, absolutely. I am as well. The Chiefs, they don't always fire off, you know what I'm saying, at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, for sure.
Last year, the Lions coming up and getting them. The last rematch, or the last, kind of time they were after hosting the Super Bowl was the Texans, which was a good game, but they did win. So we'll see. But they're 1-1 in these opening day games. But pretty cool. The schedule release is tomorrow, so we'll know the full schedule tomorrow. And one thing that's always cool is when the teams do like their little announcement, like they have a silly way to announce who they're going to be playing. Last year, the Chargers definitely won that one when they did the anime version. Like, that was just so sick.
That was so tight.
Yeah, so I'm hoping for an episode 2. Like, I hope they got the best idea. If they can execute again, like, I hope they just go for it. But we'll see if they try to top that. But that was the best I've seen ever.
No, same. That was so cool.
So that's what's up. A few other games, though, have been announced ahead of the schedule release. I'm just going to drop all three of these real quick, and then let me know which one is your favorite out there. We got the Friday after the opening day game, Green Bay at the Eagles in Brazil, which it's weird. Like, those are two cold weather teams. Like, Brazil seems like sunny, bright, fun. I wish the Miami Dolphins would have been in this game or or LA team or something like that, but I think this is a pretty cool one, though. And definitely going to be interesting to see that first look like in Brazil. That's pretty crazy. First time ever NFL going into that area. So also Brady's broadcast debut is going to be the Dallas Cowboys at the Cleveland Browns, which I'm obviously just excited to see America's team, excited to see my boys. But Brady's debut, like, I'm honestly don't have high hopes for him as an announcer.
Yeah.
I don't really know, like, if he's gonna be that great. I know that Greg Olsen is like my favorite out there, and he's kind of taking that top spot, so that kind of sucks for me. But what do you think Brady is gonna be a good broadcaster, or?
I don't know. You know how it works, man. Like, well, I guess kind of, because Greg Olsen is also one of my favorite broadcasters too, and he was a phenomenal tight end. But sometimes the greatest of players don't always make like the greatest of anything outside of being the greatest of players. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
We'll definitely see how he does. Like, obviously they got teleprompters and things of that nature, but we'll see. We'll see how he does.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be interesting too, because it's like he's got a great life. He doesn't really have anything to prove. So it's like, is he going to put the work in to be good? We'll see.
Yeah.
Because it might not come naturally. I don't know.
For sure.
But I know that they did do like a few games last year, like mock ones. So apparently he's practicing. So hopefully he'll be ready for that one. And then the last one we know so far, which is pretty interesting, the Monday night capper will be the New York Jets at the San Francisco 49ers, which, the 49ers obviously have a ferocious D-line. They have a lot to prove coming off of the Super Bowl, and then Aaron Rodgers stepping back in, where I think he had a Monday night game last year, right, when he got hurt, or he had a debut game, either Sunday night or Monday night game where he got hurt. So
either his debut game, like third play or something like that. It was immediate.
Yeah. So we'll see if he can get through the whole opening weekend this time. But what do you think about that matchup too, or these other three that we know so far?
Like, obviously Chiefs and Ravens, that's why it's opening day. But Jets and San Francisco, I think, could be a good one. Obviously the 49ers are going to be back at the top and sure trying to get back to the Super Bowl again. But I want to see, like, I think for me, this is like, we finally get to see what the Jets might be able to be, you know what I mean? But Rodgers is 1 year older and a super serious injury later, you know what I'm saying? So, even if he does come back, like, who's to say he's going to be, a shell of himself, or the old Aaron Rodgers, or whatever the case may be. So this game has potential to be really, really good or a complete blowout. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. I'd love to see if Green Bay, though, picks up where they left off, because they really, really surprised me last year in the playoffs and getting past the first round and then literally almost beating the Lions. And so that was kind of crazy. So hopefully they pick up from where they left off last year.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see if they take a step forward. And then also the Eagles, they collapsed at the end of the year last year.
Sure.
But they also they had a good offseason. So
definitely.
So we'll see. Pop says he likes the Cowboys opening at the Browns. Our rookies are going to face a great defensive line to start the season. Here we go. So, yeah, I think that should be a good, gritty game, and especially away. That's not an easy place to play, but I would definitely rather play there in September than in November. Out the way.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, just a few NFL news things. Nothing too crazy. MVS from the Chiefs is going to the Bills. It's crazy. They've added like 17 wide receivers. They have like 17 wide receivers on their roster right now, trying to figure out how to replace Diggs and Gabe Davis. But do you think Valdez-Scantling is still like a decent option for them?
I mean, for them, yeah, because they don't have anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think for them, it's I mean, he'll be a good veteran receiver. You know what I mean? And it'll really be up to the offensive coordinator to figure out how they can get some of these guys open. I think Josh Allen had a phenomenal season towards the second part of the season last year. because we were thinking they weren't even going to get into the playoffs, and they did, right? So,
True.
So I think Josh Allen is, love him or hate him, we've probably seen all that he is, you know what I mean? But he's always going to be able to keep the Bills, somewhat in playoff contention as long as he's healthy. But I think one of the biggest things that like tripped me out, especially in the draft, was like the Bills handing over their first round pick to the Chiefs in a trade. It's like that's been your like Achilles heel team for the last like 4 or 5 years, and you just give them an earlier pick to get easily the fastest receiver in the league, So I didn't understand that play at all. Like they definitely could have used it to grab the same speedy player that the Chiefs had, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see, but I mean, a good veteran receiver for the rookie that they did grab in the top of the second round, and all that kind of stuff. We'll see how they do.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's like you said, a veteran. He's gonna know what to do, so he gets you a few stats, and kind of go from there. Another interesting story: Jared Goff signing a big extension. He now is going to be making $53 million a year on his new deal. And you know what I'm saying? We talked about it. I always talk about it every time. My boy Dak, man, he got blasted for so much for kind of resetting and getting the money he got. Now he's way down. Jared Goff being the second highest paid quarterback behind Joe Burrow. And not necessarily that he doesn't deserve it, but it's just interesting how the cap keeps going up. This money is just going to keep going up. And even in a few years, this might look like a deal if he keeps him in playoff contention and playing the way they have been.
Yeah, RG3 says it best, pay your guys, because right now it's a discount. You know what I mean? Like it might be high right now, but the next dude up is gonna, reset the market every single time. So when you get a chance, pay your guys, now. Don't wait.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see. But I think it's really kind of cool for Jared Goff, considering like they basically were just sending him to the Lions for his career to basically fall off. When the deal went down with Matthew Stafford, everybody thought, oh, Jared Goff's just kind of a throw-in, and will he even be the starter? And he's taken that and ran with it. So I appreciate that for sure. I kind of happy for him. I'm not the biggest Jared Goff fan, but
yeah, I feel you. He's doing very well there. Like it's not like yeah, I know he's kind of known for being what's it called, quarterback, but he's doing very, very well there. He's doing so much more than just game managing.
Yeah, for sure. So he's doing his thing. I want to welcome Grace to the show. Welcome in. She's got the sun there. It's definitely been hot. I think we finally hit 100 degrees. We're very close to it today. So, but welcome in, Grace. Thank you for bringing your sunshine our way. And only other story, which I don't think is really too big of a story, because what is he going to say? But they talked to Kirk Cousins the other day, and he was, basically saying that, he doesn't have any animosity, and kind of like is going to encourage Penix, and that they're going to be on the same page, even though his agent kind of came out on draft night and said he was confused and didn't understand the pick. They also asked him if, hypothetically, if he knew they were going to pick Penix, would he have still signed with the Falcons? I don't think this is like a real story, though. I mean, it's like, what else is he going to say? Of course, they're going to be good teammates, but do you think this could cause an issue, considering they're going to be on the same team for at least like 3-4 years?
Yeah, I think it definitely causes issues, because right now, obviously, the team is Cousins. Like I think Cousins is going in; he'll be the starter. Even after training camp, he'll still be the starter. I don't think they're going to even really allow Penix Jr. to compete for the starting job. I don't. But the first time Cousins goes down and misses a couple of games, and if Penix comes in and starts playing very well right off the bat, it makes it harder to go back to them. You know what I mean? Like, granted, they gave him a lot of guaranteed money, like his agent always gets him, but
he's a baller.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like you're looking at your future, and you have some really young guys on the offensive side of the ball, and you kind of want your younger quarterback to get used to them. You know what I mean? So I think it could definitely cause some problems if Kirk Cousins can't stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, I think it'll be his team to run until he loses it. You know what I mean? Or new coach, new system. Maybe he doesn't do as well as he does there. He did in Minnesota with Justin Jefferson, obviously. But yeah, I think it can 100% cause some issues.
I think you're right, though. I think it is great points. It's like, of course he's going to say the right things, but inwardly he's really kind of maybe a little steamed at the Falcons because that does add pressure. Like the move that they made added a little bit of pressure, warmed up his seat a little bit to where it's like, okay, you better come back healthy from this injury. You better not waver. If you fall off in the next couple of years as you get older, you out. We got the plan. Like we got the plan right here. Yep. So, and I could even see them doing some little tricky plays where they throw Penix in there because he's left-handed, and so they could maybe try to do some, some kind of reverse thing that normally defenses aren't ready for because they're always roll to one side or the other. Anyways, I can see it. I can see it. Yeah, I can see some things happening. So I'm kind of all for it, though. We'll see because I do want to see Penix play at some point.
For sure.
So I like it. All right. Kelly's saying I'm seeing 100 in the forecast. Yeah, it's crazy. But at least we kind of had a semi-long spring. We did okay, but it's definitely the heat is on. All right. Let's move into NBA talk. We're going to get to these playoff series. And honestly, man, the Wolves, last time we talked, they were up 2-0. I'm blaming the NBA because they gave them an extra day off. You know what I'm saying? The Nuggets got right. They figured some things out. But going back to Minnesota, the Wolves dropped both. And they're breaking my heart, man. They play again tonight.
You might have froze.
Who do you like in this one?
It might be the Nuggets, dog. You know what I mean? Like it's what happens when you go down, but then you kind of like even it up. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden it's just the other team all the way. You know what I mean? Like the Nuggets just might have figured them out. And I've been saying for years that like Rudy Gobert winning Defensive Player of the Year as many times as he's won it. Was it 4 times now?
4, yeah.
But
this year.
But he's not a super great on-ball defender. He cannot guard positions 1 through 5. And when teams go small ball, he becomes a defensive liability. As in what you're seeing right now, when the Nuggets go small, he's not even on the court. So that's why I just get really irritated when I'm just like, dudes won it 4 times, and guys like Bam haven't won it once. You know what I mean? So, and we're seeing that now. Like, and I feel like if the Nuggets continue to keep him off the floor, which doesn't really matter because Joker's doing his thing right now, but I feel like they found the recipe. I feel like they found that, that way that's just going to get through the Nuggets. And honestly, the Wolves are probably going to struggle a little bit going on. I really wouldn't be surprised if somehow this ends in 6 and Nuggets just go 4 straight.
Yeah, I can see it too. Like the way the momentum has turned, the Nuggets have figured it out. The Wolves came out swinging and they had them on the ropes. They had them frustrated.
Yeah.
But I do think that extra day, for whatever reason, like the Wolves needed to keep that pressure on, and Denver got a little bit of rest. They were able to reset and figure things out. And I'm like, dang, because I don't want to see them win it again, man. I don't like them. Unk says, I think I can outplay Rudy Gobert. Yeah, I don't know, man. The hustle might be for sure, because I do agree with what you're saying, Strizzy. Like, he's won Defensive Player of the Year, but it's because of his size and the system he plays in and the fact that he's a wall.
Exactly. Don't get me wrong. His ability to block shots, and he can guard some of the the bigger players, but guards rush past him. They make him look silly on the 3-point line when he gets out there, and he's slow. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can't keep up, like I said, in small ball stuff. So I don't know. I've never been a fan of his either. So it's like watching him win for the 4th time. It's like, who's voting, dog? Like, what are y'all watching?
Yeah.
I swear, some of these dudes watching box scores, and all they see is like, oh man, Rudy Gobert had a 5-block game, 6-block game. It's like, well, yeah, he's a big dude under the basket. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Like, and he comes over as that second defender. Like, people funnel them towards him. So
exactly.
Yeah. But we'll see tonight, though. I'm definitely rooting for the Wolves, but the pressure is on them now, because if they go down and have to come home, they haven't won at home yet against the Nuggets. It's going to be a lot of pressure on them. So I'm hoping they can come out tonight and give themselves a chance in the series. But, man, they had them on the ropes. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, what about the
hook? They are who we thought they were. All right. Unk says he's got world-class speed compared to Rudy Gobert. Chris Gobert.
I'm getting him in a race, bro. I'm telling you. I'm getting him in a race. on everything.
Let's bounce to the other game that's going on tonight. We have Knicks and Pacers, and the series is tied 2-2, and the Pacers really, are back in this series. They could have won a couple of those Knicks, or one of those two games in New York. I was going to check the score real quick, but tell me what you're thinking about this series so far.
The Knicks are beat up, man, and we talked about this thing last week. I talked about how the New York Knicks starters are literally playing 44 to 46 minutes, some of them, or 44 to 45 minutes for some of them. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's one of these things where it's like, dog, these players aren't getting any rest, they're not getting any breaks, and Tibbs needs to figure out how he can get his bench players some open shots and get his players some rest, because all his primary key players are injured right now. Brunson's missing time. I think McBride got the start tonight. You know what I mean? So your best players are injured and knocked up. Like, do I think they can still get past Indiana? Yes. Is it going to make it harder? Yes. And when they get to the Celtics, who are literally on autopilot, they basically played a super weak Heat team, and now they're playing a really weak Cavs team.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell missed the last game, so now they're up 3-1. But I don't know, man. I think they're gonna be entirely too beat up and worn out by the time they get to the Celtics, and not gonna stand a chance.
Yeah, for sure. I could see it. And Tibbs has a like history of doing that. He did that in Chicago too. Just wears his players out. It's like you got to be fit and ready to rock if you're going to play for him, because you're going to play a lot of minutes. Welcome in Stephanie Washington to the show. That's what's up. I see her comment. I'm going to save that for just a second, but that's dope. We'll talk about that in just a second. That's really cool. Being out there. You mentioned already Cleveland, Boston. That they're Cleveland down 1-3, and this is pretty much done deal. Anything you want to really comment on here? Like you said, they're on autopilot.
No, not at all. Like, you watch these games, and like Boston is almost kind of like slouchy, you know what I mean? And they're still winning, you know what I mean? It's like they're uninterested because they know that Cleveland doesn't stand a chance. And in the same way, Miami didn't stand a chance either, with everyone being injured and out. So like it just, I think when they play I still think they're going to play the Knicks, right? But they play the Knicks. I think Knicks might still game one just because they're so much more battle tested, and they're a gritty team and a very physical team, and that's something that Boston most definitely is not. They are not a physical team at all. But after Knicks get their win, then I think it's going to be all Celtics. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be like, oh, okay, this is how they're coming, so we got to match that. So, but yeah, this series is kind of whack, and I'm sure they're frustrated, but Jared Allen missing the entire season the entire series has definitely got to hurt, because he's been a monster all year.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. Same here. I'm just disappointed because I don't want the Celtics to win, and if it's Celtics Nuggets, then I'm gonna really be tuned out.
That's how I feel you, bro. I feel the same way.
I'm like, no, that's not exciting. So let's look at this other last series though that's going on. 2-2 Thunder Mavs. Shai really did his thing last night. Otherwise, the Mavericks looked like they were going to take a 3-1 lead. This is a really good one, though. I think this is going to come down to 7 games.
Yeah, me too.
But for some reason, I feel like the Thunder have to do a little bit extra in order to get by. I feel like Luka's got the Mavs going. All their role players are kind of doing the right thing. But what are your thoughts on the Thunder Mavs?
I agree. I agree with you. I think this was going to go 7 as well. Luka's hurt. Like, he is really beat up. His shoulder, his knee, and his ankle are all just tore up. And I think he's just, he's playing in these games because obviously how he can get all of his guys to their spots. PJ Washington is playing phenomenal right now for them. Yeah. But I think what's going to really get them to get past, because like you said, this should be, Mavs up 3-1. But, Luka hasn't had the best games this past game and the game before that as well. So, and he's just beat up. He's moving slow. I know Kyrie's playing a little bit more of the point guard role right now, with Luka coming off the ball, and they've got to figure out how to get Luka some rest or some different kind of recovery or something, because they definitely need him, because he can't keep shooting like this. And but
got no lift. Yeah,
both of these teams are so good defensively. Like, both of them are. So it was going to be a rugged, gritty game no matter what, but. I think if Luka has a game where he can get going, that's going to make it really, really hard for the Thunder, because when he starts off hot, like Thunder go up Mavs go up really quick.
Yeah, for sure. I do agree. I think at this point, this is my favorite series to watch, just because of how good the matchup is.
Seriously.
So we'll see how it ends up. But man, I just hope somebody can knock off the Nuggets, and I hope they can go on to beat the Celtics. But we'll see.
Yeah,
those are going to be the.
My thing is this: like, I hope someone can take the Nuggets out, but I'm like, if someone takes the Nuggets out, who's going to beat the Celtics? You know what I'm saying? Because if I gotta pick the worst or both evils, like, I'd rather the Nuggets repeat.
Yeah, as much as I would dislike that, I would rather that because the Celtics Lakers are, in the battle for the ultimate, so for the most championships.
Period.
Yeah, same here. All right, let's jump to tonight is an opening night of the WNBA, and we have a little bit more NBA news we'll jump back to, but definitely wanted to get to our homegirls. The WNBA, I feel like this is the best chance they have to really elevate the platform. Obviously, Caitlin Clark is bringing a lot of buzz, but the other young rookies, just the way that the game has been growing to this point, I feel like this might be the season that really changes, kind of the status, if you will, of the WNBA. And it's awesome that our homegirl Stephanie Washington will be out there representing. She said she's going to the Aces home opener tonight. They will have their ring ceremony and raise the championship banner, which is dope. They're coming off of their repeat, their repeat, and they're going for a three-peat, and that is super dope. But I'm excited for the WNBA season because I want to see where this goes, and see how this momentum builds. I watched some of the Caitlin Clark debut a little bit earlier, and they were kind of roughing her up. I'm saying? They're not going to make this transition easy for her. Yeah. I feel like, especially because of the attention that she's getting. They were on the road at the Connecticut Sun, but they did sell out the arena, both the lower bowl and the upper bowl, which is pretty crazy because, like, with the Mercury, like, they usually don't even sell tickets to the 200 level. So
they don't.
What did you think, though, of Caitlin Clark's debut, and what are you kind of most looking forward to this year from the WNBA?
Yeah, man. I mean, so far so good. I know I'm kind of watching the game to the side right now. I've seen her hit a couple deep threes. I know she scored like a transition layup in traffic. So I don't know how many points she has right now, but I know she, like, from what I've seen her kind of hooping a little bit. But even like her first preseason game, like, she ended the game with like 21, 22 points, something like that. So she's still playing well, but yeah, of course, they're going to make it difficult for her. I think in all seriousness, I think there's a little bit of a jealousy aspect to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this girl's coming in and she's providing this wave of attention that nobody else has been able to provide, right?
Right.
When at the same time, they should be entirely grateful. I saw there was a video from one of the Suns players, Fever players, on their charter plane, on their way to play the Sun today. So, and they look ecstatic, man. You know what I'm saying? They got the jets completely to them and all that fun stuff. And I think a big part of that has to do with these rookies helping selling out these games. You know what I'm saying? So, I look forward to it. I went to the Sparks versus the Mercury game just last weekend, and had a ball. It was really, really dope. It was just a preseason game, and it was packed. You know what I mean? Like, it was packed. It was just a preseason game. So, the WNBA can't sleep on this. They need to continue to build off of all of this, because if they don't, they're not going to get the revenue that they're hoping for. You know what I mean? They can't just assume that people are going to just start coming to games and buying a gang of jerseys and and watching on TV, like all that kind of fun stuff. So they need to do things to keep the momentum going, and if they do that, I think they can start offering these ladies, these women, a lot more. You know what I'm saying? So hats off to them so far. Like, it's been real fun, and like I said, I got to see Cameron Brink, the number 2 overall pick, just this past weekend, and it was dope. She's good. She's solid.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I do think, like, the WNBA has been kind of like, and it's silly to say like a kept secret, but especially the live environment. Like, unless you go, and like we've gone in the past, like we've gone for several times over the years, and it's like, especially the Mercury, like, it's a really good environment, and the fans that are there are like hardcore, and they're having a good time.
Oh, so
yeah, so like I even think that like game day environment is sometimes even better than the NBA, just depending on the matchup, depending on what's going on. So I think it's really cool. But I think that, again, with Caitlin Clark's helping sell tickets on the road and just the different attention that's come, like, I think a lot of more people are going to get hooked in, and even just seeing a lot more, young girls like rocking their stuff and getting more interested in the game. I think it is going to create, a next like kind of wave of it. So I'm all for it. I think it's really dope. And I just hope that they do their thing. Pop says Clark has a huge following, but I don't think she's as good as all the hype. And I think that's the thing.
Points right now.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, even with her going to the situation she is like, she's gonna still get her chance to get buckets as she transitions in. Like, I think she's gonna be a pretty good player, but she definitely does have the following that's preceding her. So there is a lot of pressure on her to perform because all the eyes are on her, and some of the things that the aspects that they're changing are due to the anticipation of her stardom. So she's going to have a lot of pressure, but I think she'll be all right. I think she's going to be fine because she's got the skills to do it. It's just adjusting to the league. She's going to score. She's going to do her thing
right now. Like she just split a double team right now, drove to the bucket for the and-one. Like literally right as Pops wrote that in. Like she's hooping right now. Like it's going to be a struggle because the Fever sucked. Last year they weren't a very good team, so it's going to be kind of on her to kind of change that. But she hooping right now.
Yeah, I think she's gonna do her thing. I think it's gonna be cool though because it's gonna give everybody else a chance. And kind of like you mentioned, like the jealousy. I think there will be some animosity. I think there will be some extra, criticism on her because they're like, all right, we're gonna put you in your place. But I also think, like I was talking earlier, like that's kind of the veterans' role too. Like, you know what I'm saying? They can't let her have nothing easy. So it's gonna be good to see her kind of navigate that. Stephanie Washington said ticket prices definitely went up. Used to be $10. I think that those times are definitely changing. So,
I got tickets to the game on the second as well, and they up, bro.
They were saying on the broadcast earlier that courtside, some people paid $6,000 for their pair of courtside seats for a college debut. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. Like that's unheard of just even a year ago in the WNBA. So,
the Diana Taurasi was talking about, it's funny because the media made it sound like Diana Taurasi was talking about Caitlin Clark, and she was literally she never said that. She's talking about like all of the rookies, right? Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, Caitlin Clark, like all the rookies that are coming in. That this is not college hoops. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely the transition is a lot harder than you think it is, and all of that stuff. But they're telling them all these things. But I got an amazing picture of Diana Taurasi hugging Cameron Brink at the end of the game, and like her embrace to Cameron was like something that I know because Cameron looks up to her so much. So like I captured the face of her hugging one of her idols, and it was like, they're gonna be on them tough, but at the end of the day, it's still all love.
Yeah, for sure, most definitely. And Unc says that need to just adjust it so these ladies get compensated. I think that's the thing is like this influx of attention, this new wave of money will help make that happen. So one other thing that's pretty cool, Ajaya Wilson is going to be getting her own shoe, and Nike has quite a few ladies with signature shoes, but this is the craziest one I've seen so far. Now this is just a prototype. It hasn't that they've that they're talking about they're working with, but have you seen this shoe, Strizzy? Like, how can you hoop in that? Like,
oh no, like where's the heel at?
That's what I'm saying. Like the slope at the bottom is like, I don't know where your actual foot comes down, but it looks pretty crazy. Looks futuristic. But I don't know. I think it's cool that they're trying to make something like innovative, but I'm interested to see what it actually looks like when it comes out. Because
the thing is, I think if they just add like a bottom heel to it, I think it could be dope. But I don't like how it looks like. You seen those like the women's heels that are like the heel is covered by cloth, but it's still a heel.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you see it? Like, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like to me.
Sneaker
it looks
pumps,
like it looks like there's a heel in there. Like it's gonna add, it's gonna give you 3 inches off the ground. You know what I'm saying? But there's
I don't know.
It's weird.
Yeah. To me, I kind of thought of like those like walking like Skechers type shoes where it like rolls you forward. Like
exactly.
I was like, that's pretty crazy, but we'll see what those actually come out with. But I wanted to throw those on there just to laugh about that real quick. All right, let's jump back to the NBA news. And one of the things I did want to talk about was the draft lottery. Now the Hawks had like the 12th best chance. Detroit Pistons with the worst record in the league, but the Hawks did come out with the number 1 pick in the lottery. And I still think that this is one of the, like, I still don't like it. Like, I understand that they're trying to get rid of tanking, but I do not like the idea of the lottery, like, whatsoever. I don't get it. I think it should literally be worst to first to best. Like, the Pistons 2 years in a row now have had the worst record and have had the 5th pick.
That's crazy.
It's just bad. It's just all bad. So,
Yeah.
But on top of that, there is some stuff going on with the combine, getting ready for the draft. Now that the draft has been, or the draft lottery has been done, and Bronny James getting some attention, of course, with his measurements, and then kind of in the scrimmage. I want to welcome in real quick another member of our panel. We got Mr. Matt Marcus in the building. What's good, fam?
What's going on, man? Sorry, y'all, man. I couldn't even set myself up, so I'm on the phone again.
You're good.
No, you're good. You're good. I did want to just get your thoughts real quick, or when we were talking about this, both you and Scrizzy and the chat. Bronny is looking like he's going to stay in the draft. That's what the word is right now. Do you think Bronny is going to get drafted?
Man, after today, I've seen a couple of interviews. It changed my whole thing about how I feel about him now. Because, I was like, he shouldn't be doing it. LeBron getting his dad, it's gonna be hard for him. But to see his maturity and how he was talking about it, how he was saying how he won't be known as Bronny James, not LeBron James' son, that was kind of big for him. And he also said that his style of play is going to be more like Drew Holiday. It's going to be like Dan. I think his name is White. Is it Dan White from the Celtics?
Yeah.
Oh, Derek White.
Derek White. I mean, so he said him, and then the young guy from Baylor that plays for the Kings. Is it Devontae or something?
Yeah.
Devontae something. I don't know. Devontae White or whatever. But he was saying that his style of play is going to be like those guys. That those guys affect the game different ways. Like Drew Holiday's not a big time scorer. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he played defense. He played making sure everyone didn't make the shots. So I'm thinking like, okay, since he's thinking like that, of course his dad told him the same thing too. His dad is very smart. But for him to think like that as a young person, because he could have been like, no, I ain't gonna be like those guys. I'm gonna be different. But for him to embrace that role, hey, if you're a GM, you're anybody else like that, you could take people like that on your team because they're not gonna be trying to do too much. They're gonna do anything to help your team. They're gonna do the dirty work. So for him to think like that and not coming in thinking like he's gonna be like his dad or star, that makes me think different about him now. So I kind of like encourage him now, like to be like that kind of player. You're not gonna be a star. He knows that. So if I'm a GM, I'm drafting him. I don't know about first round. Maybe if we do the lower round because you want to try to get his dad on the team too. So if you go first round, they're trying to get dad too. So. But if you go second round, I can see him happen like that. But it shows good. He did. His combine was good. He hit a couple of shots and did pretty good. So I feel different about him now. I thought in my head he was trying to go like his dad. He was not gonna be like that. So he knows in his head what he gonna do. So I'm gonna encourage him. I'm gonna be a big fan of him now. So he senses like that.
Strizzy?
Yeah, it's funny. Like I agree with everything that Marcus has said, and we've talked about his game since he was in high school, right? Like, and I think what sucks is like when he said in his interview talking about like I don't want to be known as LeBron James' son. Like I'm glad he said that because in all honesty, it has gotten him as far as it has because unfortunately, like the social media world and things of that nature, like they did their absolute best to make it seem like his high school years were great and they weren't. You know what I'm saying? Like they really weren't. Like they show like a highlight or two of his game, and then you look at the box score and he only had 4 points. Like the highlights they showed were the only 2 baskets he made. You know what I mean? And that was his entire high school career. You know what I'm saying? So, he really wasn't like a super. They said I think he was like 19th in the nation going into college for USC. Before the heart incident, which was so unfortunate. But I'm happy he kind of has that 3-and-D attitude as well, because I feel like having that attitude and not coming in with the attitude of like, oh yeah, like, don't let my 1 year at college, show y'all what I am. Like, I'm just as good as my dad. Like if he was coming in talking like that, like, it's like, nah, bro, like don't do that. Like that's definitely not you. You know what I mean? But I think like Derek White, you know what I mean? Like that's definitely a really good player. Same thing with Drew Holiday. Like, those type of players I think he could really actually do. He is very smart. He's extremely athletic. like extreme, like we talk about like measurements to his dad. Like he's extremely athletic. Kid's got bounce. I think he had the second highest vertical in the combine, and I think he'll do well with whatever team drafts him as long as he keeps that attitude. And who knows? You know, so when you have the NBA, coach and things of that nature, he's only going to be able to get better. I think like kind of like with the Ball brothers, right? Like So was a really good defensive guy, a great passer, and did a lot of did all those things. But when it came to offense, we're really talking about Melo. And I think offensively, like it's gonna be the same thing. Like I think Bryce is definitely just gonna be the better offensive player, whereas Bronny's just gonna be
hustle type.
Exactly, yeah. Hustle type, better defensive guy. Probably a better passer. You know what I mean? If you will. But I think they're both gonna get it. I think they're both gonna make it. So I think he does get drafted this year.
Yeah, I think it's pretty crazy. But I definitely think he get drafted. Pop says Bronny is too small, is not ready to play in the NBA. He'll get drafted because of his name. Again, very popular, but not a real player. And I think I get that. And I think that will be the main sentiment, is that obviously he's getting drafted because of his name. But also it's along with that, it doesn't mean he can't be a somewhat productive player in the league. It doesn't mean that he can't get in where he fit in. Yeah. Because he has gotten this far in this attention, obviously because the lineage, but that comes into it sometimes. Sometimes it's the looks you get, and sometimes it's who you know. And I think this is just the most obvious case of that. But even when it comes to Giannis and two of his brothers at one point being on the Bucks roster, where it's some of those guys at the end of the bench are going to be body hustle players that have the skill and athleticism to be in the NBA, but aren't necessarily a star player.
He's definitely better than Giannis' oldest brother on the team right now. What's his name? Tobias, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
he's definitely better than him. That's hands down.
So
he's better than Pat Bev ass too. If I gotta pick between him and Pat Bev, who's just been traveling on teams, if Pat Bev can get a job, I'm sure LeBron James Jr. can get a job. I gotta stop calling him Bronny too. He grown now. I can't if I'm him too, I'm look, it's Bron James Jr. or LeBron James Jr. LBJ Jr. Stop calling me Bronny if I'm his son.
True, he's a full junior, saying middle name everything. Huh?
Yeah,
So he needs. Yeah, I don't know. I think it has to be Bronny. I don't know, but we'll see. But I do think he'll get drafted. I think it's kind of an exciting prospect because I get the whole nepotism thing, but to me, I don't care. Especially if he gets a chance to play with LeBron, just the achievement of that is incredible to me. That would be so cool to see. And I don't doubt that the Lakers, maybe in the second round type of thing, might do that just to make history. It's a family business. Why not draft him? I think we go for
it. They've already said that they're open to accommodating LeBron by grabbing his son. They've already said it. So I think as long as he's there and they don't have to, and they're going to talk to other GMs, right? They're going to talk about, do you guys have any interest in LeBron James Jr.? And if the answer is really no, they can get him in the second round, they'll grab him in the second, you know what I mean? But, they're going to have a really high first round pick. And at the end of the day, he might go in the first round because of it.
Yeah, and people don't realize it's not as much pressure as dad, but it's a lot of pressure on him to even do the combine because all eyes on him. Yeah. If he do get drafted, when he get on the court, everybody gonna be looking at him. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine him playing a game. Say if he don't play with his dad, or say he play with his dad, his first game with his dad on the court on field, it's gonna be all eyes on him. You know what I'm saying? So you can't mess up. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's still a kid. So you're gonna be nervous. You might mess, but he messed up. I'm oh, see, he ain't. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a lot of pressure on him, and for him to be mature and how he do that. I think he'll be okay, but that pressure gonna be tough on him, man. So I hope he does okay though. I ain't gonna lie. I hope he does okay. And I just thought about it today. I'm that pressure on him gonna be hard, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think he just got to hoop. At the end of the day, just go out there and hoop. You're just doing something that you've done your entire life, just now at the most absolute elite level. But he can't. He's got to hit those open threes. You know what I mean? He had a really good 3-point combine function. He had a really good one. But he's got to hit those shots. You know what I mean? Make sure these teams understand. All right, when he's open, he's going to hit them, and he's going to play defense with some of the best players in the league, and hopefully he can do that as well. So. If he can just do that, he's got a spot, you know what I'm saying, in the league.
Yeah. But I totally get that though, especially Marcus, that pressure. everything he does, like no one's gonna be convinced he's earned it. So regardless, like
Yeah.
he's gonna have to do all that and more to even earn respect from some people. So that's definitely gonna be a long hill to climb. But I'm excited because I think it's gonna happen. I think it's going down, and it could even be another team to try to lure LeBron away. So so we'll see. But I love it. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of drama, a little bit of excitement there.
Can I say one thing too? How does OKC keep on getting these draft picks first round like this? I don't understand. They still got picks from way back when Russell left or something. Like what's
They do.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
Paul George trade. Yeah.
golly?
It's crazy. Like they stockpiled picks and they've done such a great job with them.
Yep.
And getting SGA was like now with like at the time.
Steal.
Yeah. Yeah. They didn't know exactly what they had, I feel like. But obviously the Paul George thing, they swung at it and they tried for it. But all the stuff that they gave up from the packages and everything,
Man,
like
they getting some great players, man. Like that team is, man, it's good already. You know what I'm saying? They came back yesterday, but they gonna be good, man. They gonna be, and it's crazy how that small. Like I don't care what nobody say. They praise like he should win every year, the best GM or whatever that. Because like that's Oklahoma City, and you got these guys always in the contention. They always in the playoffs. You lost Kevin Durant. And you lost Harden, and you still make it to the playoffs with Russell Westbrook by himself. Then you mess around and get Chris Paul. He turned the team around, you know what I'm saying? You go in playoffs in the bubble. Like it's like they always relevant. You know what I'm saying? It's just amazing how it happens, man.
It's crazy. Can you imagine if like the Lakers had a GM like that or something? Because I mean, shout out to Rob Pelinka. He turns the roster over every year somehow, but still like he doesn't have that forward thinking mentality either. Because every time they got to try to pick up the pieces. So.
You think he might try to get Preston to go somewhere else? You think he's like, nah, I'm good here? You think?
I don't know.
Maybe it ain't the right team hadn't called him yet, but like he's amazing, man. So
Lakers are
maybe
tough,
it is.
They're win now every year. You know what I'm saying? Like Lakers are win now. Like, and I think the OKC GM was like, and Grant, like you said, like they've been relevant. Like, but it's like with them, it's like, we have 14 first round picks. You know what I'm saying? Like, just a couple of years ago, that's how many first round picks they had to like mess around and play with, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? But like, it also gives them time. Like, okay, look, we lost KD, we lost Westbrook, we lost James Harden, and we lost Chris Paul. Give me some time to build this team back up. And it really ain't take very long. Like this team is 2 games away from being in the Western Conference Finals. That's crazy.
Yeah, and they're doing their thing for sure. So it is a remarkable effort on that note for sure. The other thing I wanted to talk about real quick, and I don't have anything on the slide for it, but speaking when we're kind of talking about the Lakers, they're getting ready to start coaching. They're coaching interviews, and JJ Redick is on the list of potential coaching candidates. I don't like it, but I want to get some more perspective. What do y'all think? Like, are they serious with that? JJ Redick as a potential coach of the Lakers?
Yeah, they probably are serious because you see a couple of players have done that. Like Jason Kidd have done that. You know what I'm saying? They retired and came out. Derek Fisher tried to do it. I just feel like these guys, like JJ Redick, I just feel like he should be assistant coach first. You know what I'm saying? Come out and be a head coach. Like I don't think that's fair right now. You know what I'm saying? But he has that. You know what I'm saying? That privilege. So he might get a shot. But I just feel like those guys like that. It should be a rule. Like you can't just come on and be a head coach right away. Come in the ranks, you know what I'm saying? Like Darvin Ham, you know what I'm saying? Like those people like that and put their thing in there.
In the program, yeah.
Yeah. Go like I'm surprised Papa Jones haven't even tried to be a coach. He's been a assistant coach for a long time, So even with the coach who got hired by Sun just now, Mike, like he was with Pop for a little while. You know what I'm saying? He came his way up. So I just feel like it should be a rule that you got at least 3 years as an assistant coach, and then you stand out, then you get that chance to go like that. But just coming out, you're wasting time because you're not gonna be a good coach. There's no way you can be a good coach because them people they don't know you. They don't know you don't have a coaching style. You haven't been in a huddle. You know what I'm saying? You haven't did that kind of stuff, call plays, practice like that. So I just think, of course, I think all those role players are always great coaches. You know what I'm saying? They're probably happy. So it can happen, but I just don't think it should be. I don't think it's fair because you got other people who haven't got a chance to do it. You know what I'm saying? Sam Cassell been assistant coach for a long time. He hasn't got a chance to do it yet. So I think give those guys a shot first.
Yeah.
I'm convinced Sam Cassell just don't interview well. I know I'm dead serious. I'm just convinced he don't interview well because for whatever reason. But I completely agree with Marcus. For every once in a while, you get these role player guys who are really smart. You know what I'm saying? So they end up making good coaches. Whereas like a lot of, like we talked about earlier, all-star players make horrible ones, right? But I feel like Marcus said everything correct. He's never been an assistant coach. He's never, and to coach the Lakers, like you got to go in there and deal with LeBron James' ego, Anthony Davis's ego,
and earn their respect. Like that's like that's immediate pressure.
Exactly. So if I'm JJ Redick, I'm like, look, is the Detroit Pistons job open? You know what I'm saying? Like the Lakers, absolutely not. I get it. He's probably a candidate. So because he's the candidate, maybe you got to announce it. You know what I mean? Type beat. But man, if he gets that job, that's crazy. Like good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, boy.
Pop said terrible choice. He can't handle LeBron and doesn't deserve this opportunity. Nash part 2.
That's what I was thinking. Steve Nash, all over again.
Yeah, I think he'd definitely be leaning more Steve Nash than Jason Kidd, And even Jason Kidd, like, he did pretty good, like, but he had like more of a program. Like he was already kind of like in that role, like,
He was a point guard, so he's already a coach already, so that's easy.
Exactly. That's why, like, to me, if they're talking about JJ Redick, I'd rather them hire Rajon Rondo off the bat. Like, if you want to bring somebody in like that, recent player, and just try, and he ain't gonna take no whatever, you know what I'm saying?
He has a relationship with those guys, though. With AD and LeBron, they were there, you know what I'm saying? They respect him. He got 2 championships, so
that
would be pretty cool. So.
And he's coaching AAU teams. Like, I mean, granted, I get it. It's not the NBA, but he is coaching right now.
Like, he's got a program. Like, he's got a style. Like, he's got some kind of system. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I agree. It's like, even just managing, like, okay, when are you going to travel? When is curfew? Like, when are you going to eat? Like, all those things, like, are overlooked, I think. So, Pop says Phil's still wanting to coach.
Hello.
If he could coach remotely from like a cabin in Montana or something, like he would just like zoom in, like, you know what I'm saying? But that's too funny.
Don't let holographic coaching become a thing because Phil back, boy.
I ain't gonna lie though. I think Phil can still do it. I think if he was healthy enough to stand up and do that kind of stuff, I know his health is probably a big reason why he don't do it. But I really think he can still get those guys together, man. Like I said, once the player respects you, they gonna listen to you. You bring a guy in they don't really respect, it's hard to listen to you do 82 games of the season, especially when it's crunch time. Like, you never been there. How you gonna get us in a spot you feel comfortable? They know Phil's been done that. Pop done that. You know what I'm saying? So it just gets you in those situations. And then look at Pop. Pop was a great coach, but he don't have a team no more. His guys are gone. So it shows. His style, the respect they got. These guys are young guys. They don't know you, Pop. They heard of you, but they don't really know how you rock. And it just shows, So
that's an interesting one. All right, I want to jump through 2 topics real quick before we get to our final topic. I want to turn it back over to y'all, but I did want to talk about real quick Man City versus Arsenal. They're not playing each other this week, but they are in the race for the title. And so on Sunday, all the Premier League teams are going to play their final game at the same time. If Man City does not win and Arsenal wins, Arsenal can actually win the title this year. And I haven't really talked about them too much because I don't want to be a jinx. They've had their best season that they've had since like 2004, but it still might not be enough to get it done. But I'm hoping for a little bit of a miracle this weekend for my boys. But it's actually pretty cool since they're playing at the same time and they're playing in different parts of the country. They're actually going to have 2 versions of the trophy, one at each stadium ready and waiting depending on who wins. So then that way they can actually bring the trophy out and have the celebration and give their players their medals, because in Premier League, they basically celebrate on the final day of the year there.
So they go by points? They don't go by you beat them in the championship game?
Right, exactly. So they just play their regular season. Every team plays 38 games, and whoever has the most points at the end of the year is the title winner. So it's like not necessarily tournament style. It's more like table style. You play every other team twice, and whoever ends up with the best record. So it's literally going to come down to very little between these teams. Man City has had 2 draws, and Arsenal's had 2 extra losses. So that's the slim difference in the points.
So you pretty much you 2 up when you go play either way it go. You have 2 points already. So they definitely got to score 2 points to even tie, and then
No.
get a third one to win?
Oh, no. So it's not goals. So it's like points by winning the game. So like if you win, you get 3 points. And if you draw, you get 1 point. So it's like how it adds up. So yeah, so they're at 88 to 86 now. So if Arsenal wins, and they'll go to 89. And if Man City draws, they'll only go to 89, and Arsenal will win on the goal difference. So it's
okay.
But it's like literally like comes down to the result of each game and having to try to win as many games. So it's been a really great season though for them anyways. In the past, when they have actually won the title, they haven't even had this many points, 86 points, but it's just both of these teams have been extra dominant. And so so we'll see. I'm hoping that we can pull a miracle this Sunday, but it would be crazy though, because Man City, if they do win, this will be their 4th Premier League title in a row. They've been completely dominant, and so Arsenal's kind of try to change that up, but not having too much luck. Hopefully this weekend it comes through, but we'll see. I feel like if I jinx them now, it is what it is. If anything, it'll be the reverse jinx this time, and maybe it'll work. So there we go. The last 5 minutes or the last 4 minutes on the show, though, I did want to talk about this weekend, the PPGA Championship, Tiger back in action. You also got some other guys, Spieth going for the Grand Slam, Rory trying to get back up there, Scheffler trying to continue his dominance. So, Marcus, I wanted to get an early preview for the weekend. How are you feeling about the PGA Championship in Kentucky?
They're trying to change the logo and all that kind of stuff and trying to make it something else, but I'm sorry, man. I'm going with Scotty, man. Like I ain't beating him all year, so I just feel like he got a little break. You know what I'm saying? I think his wife had the baby already too. So yeah. I think he had a good break, good rest, and he sees it. So I think he'll come in there fresh. I think he won it again. Rory won last week, but the Wells Fargo don't mean anything. So I think Scotty comes in there and does it, man.
Yeah, I'm feeling like he is the hot hand too. And you know, in the majors especially, he really shows up. But I guess the big question is, Strizzy, are you putting money on Scheffler? Because every time you do, you know what I'm saying, he's coming through. How are you feeling about?
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what it is. Like I don't put money on golf very often, but when I do, I always put on Scotty. And when I do, he wins. So I probably am, man. As of right now, I'm just not betting against him. He's just been so good. He's been so dominant so far this year, and right now he's clearly the best in the world. So yeah, that's where my money going. That's where my money going.
And you gotta watch one of those live guys too. They can come out there and try to get a win too.
Oh, for sure. For
yeah,
sure.
lots of live guys up there. DJ Mickelson coming back. So I always like that element now when there is the majors. And they're you know they're they're kind of like, it's kind of like a crossover. You know what I'm saying? WWE, WCF, like when they have the crossover fights. Like that's really cool to me. So I hope one of them kind of does, as long as it's not Bryson. So
yeah, right.
So that's what's up, though. We'll definitely be checking that out. And as far as Tiger goes, it would be awesome to see him get another major. I just want him to get to Sunday. If he can get to Sunday, that's a victory to me.
Yeah, get top 20, and we'll be happy with that.
Exactly. Just take that step forward for us. So I'll be rooting for him, though. I might put a little 5 spot on him, though, because if this was the time where he comes out and has a flashback, I wouldn't want to miss it. So
the odds are always really nice for him because his expectation of winning is so low.
Yeah. So we'll see, but I think that's it.
I had one thing. Did you guys talk about the MVP? Jokic winning? Was that last week?
We actually did not even. I don't think we even talked about it.
Yeah, I think it's terrible, man. I don't like it at all, man. I think SGA should have won it, and I don't like it, man. I don't think it's cool. Like he's a cool player, you know what I'm saying? He surprised a lot of people his first one, but 3, come on, dog. Come on.
In 3 and 4 years, that's what trips me out.
That's crazy. You wasn't the best team, so it just I ain't like that part of it, but hey, it happens.
Yeah, I think that we're kind of in the same boat. You know, Shaq got a ton of hate for what he said, but in my opinion, what Shaq said, I had the same opinion. You know what I mean? Like I also felt like, you take Joker off of the Nuggets, their championship team. You know what I mean? Like not that they're winning it without him. I just mean like Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon and KCP, like those guys are still going to get them far. They're still going to win games. They still have a great coach. Like they're going to be fine. And it's not to say that the Thunder would completely fall off of the SGA. But yeah, like they ain't gonna be no 1 seed.
He's the locomotive, like he's the engine.
I mean, dude had 50 30-point games this year. You know what I'm saying? Averaged 30 points this year and averaged 30 points last year too. So
averaging 30 points, you know how hard it is?
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know. I felt like if there was gonna be another year where you got it to somebody else, like I just felt like this was SGA's year. I really actually thought he was gonna win it. So I kind of felt for him. I think even he said that it kind of stung a little bit that he didn't get this one, and now he's got to go back out and try to do the same thing again, and even more so next year, right? Because Joker ain't going nowhere. So I don't know.
That's the thing, though. Yeah.
Hold on, back. Go ahead, Marcus.
No, so that's the thing. Like, not trying. It might not be fair what I'm about to say, but it's like it's gonna be hard for that guy to come next year and do 30 points a game because they see your team is gonna be good. So why not reward him this year? Yeah. It's gonna be tough. Like Joker's gonna always do his thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's gonna be kind of hard to get 30 points a game. But it's a surprising team. The number 1 seed. You OKC it. Period. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like that wasn't fair because you got KD, you got Westbrook got one. That would have been great to see another from OKC to win MVP. That would be kind of cool to see that. But
yeah,
I don't know, man.
I think, and I agree with you, and I think the Joker, like especially with him winning so many, like this being his third, I think only thing I can think of is like when it's like a dunk contest and you have like a smaller guy or like a dude that doesn't look as athletic. So what he does is more impressive. I almost feel like with Joker, it's like you still his like change of pace, the fact that he's flat-footed, he's not very athletic. Like it's like what he does, it's like you don't expect it, so it's even more impressive. Yeah. Whereas like some guys, they be doing the most, but it's not appreciated because they make it look easier and they get it so simply. Like, and I think that comes into play, which I don't get it. Like I would hope that the voters look closer, but I almost feel like they're still like, dang, I can't believe this Serbian dude from whatever, like he be doing this. It's like, get over it. Like we see what he could do. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but it's like MVP. I don't think he's like a 3-time MVP type player.
Yeah, and like I said, I get it. Yes, what Joker does is phenomenal. Like I said, like what he does is amazing. Like the dude can average 20-something plus points, 14 rebounds, and 10 assists a game. Like in today's game as a center, like that's extremely impressive. I mean, if they didn't give it to SGA, if SGA missed too many games, then yeah, I'm like, it goes to Joker. But like, it's like I don't know. I just feel like this was an SGA year. I just feel like if you were going to give it to somebody else that wasn't Joker, it was definitely going to be him. So
and this is my last comment. I'm gonna leave it alone. Kobe Bryant got 1 MVP.
Yeah, that's crazy. Especially the Steve Nash one. I still can't. But that's a perfect way to kind of sum it up, though. And I definitely appreciate y'all rocking with us. Gonna check out some more of these opening night WNBA games. Stephanie, Washington, have a blast out there at that Mercury Aces game. Hope you have a great time. And also, I'm really pulling for the Timberwolves. Please do it for me tonight. Don't let me down. Oh man, fingers crossed. But until next time, we will see y'all soon. We'll be back next week with episode 247. But until then, that was Say Like a Champ. It's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Shizzy.
Peace, y'all.
BBL.